flex never hurt anyone. Woo! Oh, zoom in on that one. Anyway, doing a reaction video on why people no longer trust the experts. Maybe because they've lied to us, deceived us, and led us into every dark alleyway, into every communist corner, and tried to tell us the most obvious things that were clearly false every second of every day, of every waking moment of their treacherous lives. So let's watch this and see what Charlie Kirk has to say.
Before we start, I want to say I'm a professor here at WCU. And,
Oh, God.
Thank you for... No, don't boom.
Well, I was in jail.
I'm a sociology professor, actually.
No, you should definitely boo.
Environment and climate change.
Oh, no, even worse.
Don't worry, that's not my question. I have no desire to talk about that today. Before I start, though, I actually want
I spit on his grave.
surprise you maybe a little bit and say that I appreciate that you're here.
Climate change activist logic. The world's going to be underwater in every coastline in 5 years. So why don't you sell your beach house? No. That's climate change activist for you.
If nothing else, hold on. If nothing else, as someone who wants so badly to see our students engaged in politics and the life of the mind, this is great.
Yeah, to become Republicans.
For showing up and be out here to talk about ideas.
He draws a big crowd.
I do want to focus my question, if I can ask a question rather than doing this whole polemic thing, on the students that are here. So I've taught here for 6 years. I've gotten hundreds of our students. Every semester I ask them what they care about.
And people hate you more
what
and
they
more.
Want, what concerns them. And I think you probably know this, what scares them the most is that the day that they leave here and they go on the job market, they enter the labor pool, that they're not going to find a job.
Oh, yep, that's me. I got my master's degree. I can't even work at McDonald's.
They're not going to find a job. They're going to have a hard time buying a home.
Master's degree at 21. Couldn't even afford a brick of cottage cheese, stale, moldy cottage cheese, and a stale raisin on the side of the road.
They're not going to be able to afford to have a family. Do you agree with that? Do you all agree with that?
Well, largely. I mean, if they're studying sociology, they might not be able to find a job.
Right.
But, I mean, you're kind of proving that college is not...
The only way you get a job studying sociology is you become a sociology professor.
Really a good use of time.
So for what it's
if
worth,
the students
Charlie,
you're talking to can't find jobs, why are they learning from you?
Sorry, for what it's worth, Charlie, I mostly don't teach sociology students.
Oh, now he's getting
I
a little
mostly teach students from
sassy.
across campus.
You know, sass Charlie Kirk.
I teach very few sociology students. There's actually a lot of environmental science, engineering,
Even more
finance,
so,
accounting. A lot of people with the kinds of degrees that you think are very valuable. Anyway, they remain concerned. What I would love to hear from you, genuinely, is what you believe the Trump administration has done in these first 4 months that is making the economic futures of these young people better.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been in office for 80 days, but quite a lot. Number one, the price of oil is already down, so it's easier for everyone here to be able to drive home. The gas is going to be cheaper, which also will lower inflation. Number two, a tax bill will hopefully pass, which is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, largest middle class tax.
And interest rates need to come down. If interest rates come down, then my house payment will go from $2,400 because it went up. It started at $1,750. Under Biden, it went up $600. Now it's completely unlivable. And if I can refinance with a lower interest rate, then I can. It takes off like $1,400. If it went down to 3% and I refinance, it would take like $1,400 or $1,200 off my probably like $1,200 off my house, and then it would be somewhat livable.
Gun history. Yeah. So everyone here that's going to have a job where overtime is incorporated, they'll be able to keep more of their money. Number three, we're opening up federal lands to build more homes, which is a great thing because home ownership is way inaccessible for a lot of people in this audience. And it's going to take some time. And one of the main reasons why President Trump won is because we were able to move the youth vote rather significantly and substantially because the Democrat Party, A, took younger voters for granted. Mm-hmm. I think we can agree on that.
Absolutely.
And B, they did not have an optimistic, hopeful agenda.
The problem with the country now, well, obviously, still younger voters are completely delusional, but the problem is there's so many baby boomers. Baby boomers are the worst generation of all time. They're completely delusional, indoctrinated, set in their ways, and just completely clueless, unwilling to ever change their delusional takes and opinions, and are just like blind wombats fluttering around the equator, running into the first backguano they see. It's insane. Like, you're talking to a baby boomer, and man, they're just completely out of touch.
For home ownership, for getting married and having children in this country. So I would like to see the Trump administration go even further
Right.
and make it so that every young person in this country can have accessibility to be able to own a home. I think they should prohibit major funds like BlackRock from buying up private family
Yep.
homes
Absolutely.
so that we
Yep.
have to compete against them.
Yeah.
And I'll just do another thing I'm privately lobbying for and publicly, because I'll say it here, is I don't think the Chinese Communist Party should be able to buy up
Yeah.
farmland in the western part of the United
Yep.
States.
Annex that.
And
Annex
with
them!
single-family homes. So that's just some of the ideas here.
Sure. So can I respond?
Send
Actually
them
agree
back
with
to
most
the
of what you're saying. I'm
shadow.
not sure that opening up federal lands for housing is going to really solve our housing crisis. I'm not sure lowering the cost of gasoline is really going to deal with the other kinds of inflationary pressures that the Trump administration is putting on the economy. Because you didn't really mention the most important thing that he's done, which is place massive tariffs on imports into the United
That's
States,
good.
which has caused retaliatory tariffs, which are putting economic
There were
pressures
already
on
tariffs
American
on us,
businesses.
though.
So it's not only actually jacking up the price, it's functionally a tax on all of us. We're all just going to pay extra for things that get imported. So there's inflation. But all of this conflict, the cost of...
We already had
the
insane
cost of living
inflation.
going up, the
Trump is bringing it
pressures
down.
being put on businesses also means that the odds of a recession are also going up.
Wrong.
By every estimate. Not
Wrong.
just academic economists, but economists from the government.
This is why you're a
as well as
completely
economists
delusional,
who are working
useless,
in
clueless,
finance,
IQ of a negative,
in the
dung
private-
roach
in the private
sociology
sector.
teacher.
How do you reconcile the increasing cost of living, the odds of
Dude.
recession with the idea?
Under Trump, bread was $1. Now bread is $6 under Biden. Trump just took office. He's doing a trade war because China is ripping us off and destroying us on trade, taking advantage of us. Our European allies are taking advantage of us, leading us astray and absolutely destroying us on trade, and taking all our... selling all their cars in the U.S., not taking any of our cars in the EU, ripping us off on foreign agriculture. China is ripping us off in every way, shape, or form, trying to destroy the American dream and trying to undermine America in every single way, shape, and form. Trump is doing the tariff so that he can fight back against the evil Chinese communists.
The idea that the Trump administration is making the economic futures of young people better.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I fully acknowledge that what we inherited from Joe Biden was, no, I mean, of course, you inherit. You want me to prove to you how bad the economy was?
Why is he cackling?
You can laugh and chuckle.
Real quick. I think that the problems facing the American economy are bipartisan.
This is how you know Biden was complete and utter garbage. In the good economy under Trump, Biden, you literally couldn't live. Your house went up in flames. If you didn't, your box that you lived in went up in flames. You basically didn't exist anymore. You weren't even a malformed zygote at that point. You went back. You had to go back into your mother's womb.
Been caused by both parties over 40 years.
Hold on, let me prove to you how
It's
that's
not a
not
Biden
true.
problem.
No,
It's not an Obama
time out.
problem. It's a
Let me
Bush and
prove to you.
Biden and Obama
See,
problem.
No, hold on. Allow me to finish my
go
point.
for it. Go for it.
And the audience, your students, will teach you something. Is that okay?
I would love that.
Who had a
you want
stronger economy, Joe Biden or Donald Trump's first term?
Get
So
F
you could say it's a
peasant.
bipartisan problem, but when Donald Trump was president, blue-collar workers and young
Yep.
people saw their incomes rise faster
Yep.
than 1%.
That's the only time I made any money in my life. And that's how I got a down payment for my house. And then under Biden, now I literally can't live.
When Joe Biden was president, the wealthy got wealthier than any other time in American history. We saw the 1% explode their asset class, and young people and workers had a tougher time. As far as tariffs go, we're still very, let's just say, new into this rather risky experiment that the American people voted for. It could raise prices, or it could end up being where we strike really good trade deals and we sell more of our own products to these countries, and tariffs are a forcing function to open up markets. But I think it's actually really promising that a president is willing to risk even his own.
Yeah, he's willing to risk his reputation. He's willing to risk that to help the American people because he knows America is getting absolutely destroyed right now in every way, shape, and form, and he's bringing the American dream back.
Political favorability to do something that every other politician has promised, which is to protect the American worker.
Yep.
I really think that's
They never
political
do.
courage. It's faith, and I could address the other points, but if you'd like to interject.
You're right. Like it's risky, and I think that that's an excellent way to frame it.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
a
guess
good
my
thing.
follow-up question is,
Risks
what's
are good.
the
That's why he's a
theory
businessman.
behind how this will work, and how long do we need to wait until we give up on the experiment?
Well, first and foremost, we don't know whether. So when you are the incumbent economic player, tariffs can help you. The entire world would love to be a consumer economy. We are a consumer economy. But if you are only a consumer economy, that comes with some problems. We don't make vitamin C in this country. It's all made in China. No, it's a real thing. You literally
Why
can't
is this guy
survive without
cackling
vitamin
at
C.
everything?
Antibiotics are made in China. You can laugh all you want.
Well, this kid can survive without vitamin C. He can just eat sludge out of a sewer or something. We all know that. Or he can just lick his dandruff from himself. Like, this guy survives on just rat poison, probably.
Pharmaceutical materials, our aluminum, our iron, our rare earth minerals. We can't make a drone without at least half the components or parts made in mainland China. That's a national security problem. And so by using prudence, which is, of course, one of the highest of all the virtues, President Trump is able to weigh the costs and the benefits while also asking the most important question. Am I going to be able to have America not be a vassal state to the Chinese Communist Party while also improving the well-being of the people who voted for me, and not just people who voted for me, but every American person, every American citizen? Finally, if tariffs are nothing but downsides, why does China use them? There are some upsides potentially to tariffs, to protect some industries or to incentivize domestic production. And finally, I think I want to double down and reiterate this point, which is that the people in this audience that voted for President Trump were trying to send a message to their leaders that you haven't listened to us. The experts have gotten so much wrong.
Everything wrong. They've never been right about everything. They tried to keep us in circles in the park, because if you left the circle in the park, then apparently someone's grandma would die during the Chinese virus, which is the least lethal virus ever to exist in the history of mankind. Less than the common cold.
Away from us, you guys, from the COVID lockdowns, and it's time for us to try something new. I'm simply just...
That's great. I don't know what that has to do with the question that I asked, which was about the use of tariffs. I don't know what that has to do with prom.
Well, hold on. But
no. You're redirecting the question. I want to talk about the tariffs.
Can I tell you what it has to do with tariffs, actually? Because I'll complete the point. Because you have a PhD and I didn't go to college, so let me maybe make sense of it for you, okay? But I was saying, what it has to do with tariffs is that they don't trust what the experts have been saying, because the experts locked down this generation, unnecessarily masked them for 2 years. So when the experts say tariffs don't work, excuse us when we say, actually, you have completely invalidated all of your predictions the last couple of years. Do you see how they connect?
Well, I see how that connects to how people think about tariffs. I think that's different than what tariffs actually do.
Well,
and it's perfectly fine to be frustrated.
That's what they
now
do.
you let me talk.
Well, hold on.
You let me talk. You keep telling me not to interrupt you. I'm not interrupting you.
That's what you think they do. I'm going to add some context to what you're saying. However, we have not yet done an experiment of tariffs as the incumbent economic superpower when we have mass robotics, artificial intelligence, we are energy independent, and our greatest adversary is energy dependent. So
this guy is the most passive-aggressive little fucking drooling, slobbering inbred, my God.
And the American people voted for the experiment.
Well, then let me redirect you back to the question that I asked you and that you didn't answer. So it's an experiment. It's risky.
What a squealing piglet.
These are the words you have used. Yeah. How long do we have to wait? And when do we know that they've worked? Is it 3 years? Is it 4 years? Is it 4 years from now? Prices are still up.
Well, prices are not going
hiring is down.
He's been in office for 80 days. And he's just putting the tariffs on.
It's not going to go down.
But it already is, though.
You've put a tax. You've increased the cost of the tariff does.
So doctor, what's your name? Buddington? Bugton. Dr. Bugton.
No surprise there with that name.
Tariff.
Everyone's laughing at him.
Start your day with a gross.
Oh my God, don't ever show me a commercial of this. This is worse than the other liberal.
Do you mean, like, how do we not impose tariffs intentionally on ourselves?
But let's educate the audience. If you're Toyota, how do you avoid a tariff?
In the current climate,
you make it in America.
Cars here, which Toyota does.
That's right.
Toyota invests $1 billion
Trillions of dollars are coming into the United States thanks to tariffs. Trillions of dollars.
Yep.
NVIDIA pledged $500 billion.
Those have nothing to do with the tariffs.
Hold on. Toyota just announced 10 new plants in Indiana and Ohio because of the tariffs.
That's right.
Hyundai is saying.
That's right, peasant!
Yeah! Build those plants. Is it next year? Is it 5 years? Is it 6 years?
They've announced it. They're going to break ground soon. However, I think the more operative question that you're asking is that if something doesn't work, President Trump will not follow it blindly because he's not an ideologue on this. You can laugh and
I agree that he's not an ideologue.
Shrug your shoulders. In fact, he's a patriot, unlike the prior president. He actually cares about
George
the American people.
George Washington.
If what he is doing with tariffs start to have overwhelming evidence that it's not working for the American people, then he will pivot or adjust. But let me tell you the other component. We're about to pass a massive tax bill in conjunction with the tariff strategy that will make us the most desirable market on the planet to do business.
That's the thing. Trump wants to make America great again. That's why he ran. He's going to do whatever is best for the country. That's why people love him. Even if tariffs, he thinks the American people are not going to like them, but then are going to like them in the future because they're going to bring jobs back to America, make things made in America again, and bring back the industry to America to make America thrive again, then he's going to do it even if it makes him not as popular in the short term. Yeah.
The American worker is about to take more money home than they ever have in the last 50 years. Again, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. We're going to have a massive middle-class tax cut, an expanded child tax credit, things that the Democrats and Joe Biden refuse to do. President Trump is going to deliver in massive numbers. So I would like to say, despite what the experts say, oh, there's a recession coming, it might be true. But again, this is the same expert class that has completely lost any credibility with the American people the last couple of years. President Trump's been in office for 80 days. Remember when everyone was complaining about the price of eggs? Well, the price of eggs has gone down. The price of oil has gone down dramatically, like $20 a barrel. Give President Trump some time. And by the way, it only took him 10 days to solve the border crisis. Turns out we did not need a border bill. We just needed a new president to secure the southern border.
Yep. Get owned, kid.
I haven't had lunch, so I'm gonna leave and let the
Oh
next
my
person
God.
talk.
This guy is a disgrace to all humanity.
I just want to say,
Be armed.
I do want to reiterate my point, and just for you to reflect on, and for everyone here to reflect on. It is a risk.
Oh my God.
And the president has taken an enormous gamble, not with some abstract thing called the economy.
It's not a risk because the Trumpy Baba is always right.
Sure. It's your jobs, it's your ability to get hired, it's the ability to buy a house and have kids.
No, I got to interject.
And all you need to do, all that anyone should really bother doing is not to fight about it, but to just pay attention to what actually happens and to reflect on whether what Charlie
And we
said
have
is
been
true,
paying attention.
that this president
That's
is
why
actually
we
a patriot
love Trump.
and is actually adapting and is actually doing things to make your life better. Okay?
Yes, and they voted for him for a reason because they saw his first term and how well he did and how Joe Biden destroyed the country intentionally.
Yeah.
Thank you, doctor, and I wish
Learn
you
to
well.
play, self-play, learn to play. That's not a doctor. Don't trust him in any way, shape, or form. Oh, you'll understand. That guy would stab you in the kneecaps with a bald baby's tooth. Anyway, hope you guys liked that video. By the way, just make sure to check out my clothing line. Big Damn Judge clothing line. American flag on the back. Never give up on the front. Never back down on the front. Can get it in different colors. Red, blue. I really like this one. Of course, my Crusader, when I play World of Warcraft. Legendary logo. Different colors. The hoodies are really nice. With the Maestro's logo on it. And the Legendary Raccoon. The light will always guide your way. Check out the Ancient Mice merch. My creator store. You can see in the link will be in the description. And with that, the Maestro never gives up.